Good morning, children. Welcome you all to today's biology class. Great pleasure to see you again. All are ready? Let us start our biology class. Okay, we already collected our crop products in the last class, isn't it? By harvesting, we collected the grains what we produced before 2-3 months. Okay. Now, if we are collected our crops items, then we have to use these crop items at a stretch or within 1 day or 1 month? No. We have to keep these items for long time or long period. So, storage of grains or seeds we produced is an important task in front of us. Dear children, today let us know about the last step in our agricultural practice. Which is the last step? Storage of food items. The last step, that is, the 7th step is storage. Storage is an important task in front of farmers because we have to keep these produces for long period. In order to keep these products for long period, they should be safe from moisture, insects, rats and microorganisms. We know that freshly collected products having lot of water. If we are storing these produces as such without removing the moisture, they may be easily attacked by insects, pests, microorganisms and some other bacteria. So, how we prevent the attack of these organisms? For that, we can do one activity, one method. One of the method, that is, before storage, we have to drying. Drying is one of the method mostly used by farmers before storage. First, they are cleaning the produces, what they harvested, either seeds or grains. They cleaning it with water thoroughly. Then they drying in the bright sunlight. Later, they again dried them in the shade. Because of this, all the moisture content is removing. So, we can protect the items from the action of microorganisms and other germs. Okay. So, drying is one of the common method used by farmers for storing the proper items, storing the products without having any damage. Drying in the sunlight. By using sunlight, farmers are drying their products well. And then after that drying, again they are drying in the shade. Then because of these 2-3 processes, all the moisture content from the items produces is removing. So we can protect these items from the attack of microorganisms. Okay, if we are storing the produces as such with moisture, they may lose their quality. Either the germination capacity or their color. Totally, we are not getting the proper marketing price if they damaged by any one of these organisms. Okay. Our foremost goal is to take more price at the time of marketing. To market these items proper, we have to be very careful before storage. Okay. And another method we know that fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables we are keeping for long period by cooling. But grains and seeds we are using the method that is drying And fruits and vegetables, mainly fruits. You can see that in margin free market and all, they are keeping in the, that is a cooling, their freezer they are keeping vegetables and fruits in order to maintain their quality, the freshness. Okay, so fruits and vegetables by cooling. So what is the benefit of these, that is a methods? The whole year, nowadays we know that while we, that is going to market, all the fruits and vegetable items are available in the whole of the year. Mango and other apple, grapes, etc. So we can market all the items throughout the year by adopting these methods. Farmers, if they are storing the items in many materials they are using, they are storing the items either in gunny bags, earthen pots and also metallic bins. While we keeping all these items in these bags, we have to be very careful because we have to maintain where they are not having any tear or cracks. Okay, care should be taken while we keeping all these items. In bulky, that is a quantity. In bulky quantity, farmers are using, that is, silos and granaries. These granaries are airtight. Large number of products they are keeping in big metallic containers like silos and granaries. In godowns we can see that. They are sealed properly. That is why we can prevent the attack of bacteria, germs and other microorganisms. And also the animals like rats and other pets. Another method also farmers are using before storing in order to maintain their quality, that is chemicals. Farmers are using chemicals either as fungicides and insecticides or fumigants. They are using fungicides, insecticides or fumigants. They are spraying these chemicals. After diluting the chemicals, they are spraying above these materials in order to prevent the growth of microorganisms. If we are not, store them proper means, it may be easily get attacked by microorganisms. So we cannot, keep them proper and we cannot use it future also. Okay. There are 2-3 methods we discussed. One of the method is drying. Another method is cooling. And another method is chemicals. By adding chemicals, we can prevent the action of insects, pests and microorganisms. Okay. Then, traditionally in our houses, we can see that our mother is putting some dried neem leaves along with the grains and other seeds. This foul smell of neem leaves prevent the coming of these germs, pests, etc. Okay, this is a traditional method of keeping the seeds and grains without having the attack of these microorganisms and other pests. Neem leaves, dried neem leaves. In our textbook, Paheli also sharing her experience. That is, her mother is also using dried neem leaves to keep along with the wheat or rice. Okay, that also one method we can use in our house. Now we discussed that is a storage. And what are the benefit of this storage? That means storage means by storing proper only, that is we will get a good price and also we can use it for whole of the year. Now we discussed about plant products, how we are growing crops and we followed many steps for growing a crop. Same like We also depend upon animals for getting our food. Animals provide us the food items like egg, meat, milk, fish, butter, ghee, honey, etc. Various animals provide us various items. Daily we are depending upon these animals for taking their food. For getting these materials in bulk amount, what we have to do? We have to grow them proper, isn't it? So, the next step we are going to discuss, that is animal husbandry. Animal husbandry means growing of animals on a large scale. Growing animals on a large scale. We know that people, those who are living in coastal areas, the main that source of their food is fish, isn't it? The fishes are good for our health. From fishes, we can take cod liver oil, many medicines, and also many medicinal value items are also we getting from this fish. Then, when we rearing animals in large scale, we have to follow some methods. They need mainly these animals, when we are growing animals on large scale in our house or in farm, we have to take care mainly 3 factors. One is, they have to get nutritious food. We already saw that while growing a crop, we followed many steps like preparation of the soil, sowing, then adding manure and fertilizers, irrigation, protection from weeds, like that. So, like that plants, animals also need such care. They need nutritious food. The second main factor, that is shelter. They need proper shelter. To live healthy, they need proper clean and proper shelter. The third aspects we have to take care, that is care. That means we have to care them while checking, by doing regular checkup, consulting doctor like veterinary doctors, and we have to give, that is intervals of, that is a vaccination. If vaccination protect these animals from the attack of bacteria, funguses, and also some other protozoans. Like us, they also may get infected by many diseases. In order to protect them from such diseases, we have to consult them with the doctor regularly, and also we have to give proper vaccination. So, dear children, when we are growing animals, that is also a great profit. We can, if we are interested, means we can earn money. Nowadays, most of the people started to grow crops as well as growing animals, because nowadays most of them are locked down. That is why they started to do some work to earn some money. Okay, children. So you have to take care. If any type of animals having in your house, means you can care them, and also you can take their products like egg, meat, milk, etc. Okay. Today we discussed about storage of cultivated seeds or grains and also animal husbandry. So this is the time to wind up today's session. See you again. Thank you.
What do you understand by the term animal husbandry? by definition, it is the science of breeding and caring for farm animals. What do we mean by breeding and caring for animals? I'm sure you have studied about hybridization of different breeds of animals in lower grades. Why do we employ techniques of hybridization? The answer is quite simple. It is to ensure good qualities of animals which prove advantageous to humans. What all does the management of animals then involve? It involves work in three distinct areas. Animals need to be fed, breeding of animals is planned, and diseases that attack animals must be controlled. That seems like a lot of work. Why do we need animal husbandry? As we know, the population of humans is on the rise. It is necessary to provide food for their needs. Animal husbandry takes care of the growing needs of the population to a large extent. Animal husbandry includes different types of occupations like cattle farming, poultry farming, and many more. We will study a few in the lessons that follow. In this lesson, we will look at cattle farming. Which animals do cattle include? Cows? Yes, cows and bullocks, oxen, bulls are the most common cattle. What purposes do the cattle serve? They are dual-purposed, and can you guess what those two purposes are? What is the main thing we get from cattle? Milk, that's right. Cattle farming comprises of milch animals, or in simple words, animals that provide us with milk. Milk, as we know, is the crux of the dairy industry. A variety of dairy products require milk as their raw material. However, the milking period of milch animals is very short. How do farmers ensure a constant supply of milk production throughout the year? This can be done by increasing the lactation period of these animals. What do we mean by the lactation period? This is the period during which the mother feeds the young cattle. Where would we find such species of cattle? Do all species have long lactation periods? Unfortunately, that is not the case. Only exotic breeds of cattle have long lactation periods. Such exotic breeds have many desirable qualities apart from long lactation periods. They have excellent resistance to diseases. These exotic breeds have been crossbred to find the ideal type of cattle. However, having exotic breeds of cattle does not ensure good outcomes of cattle farming. Cattle need to be taken care of. This involves a lot of efforts on the part of the owners. They need to make adequate provisions of shelter and food for animals. These shelters must adhere to basic requirements of hygiene. Clean shelters, for instance, are a must. They need proper ventilation. Food, on the other hand, must be provided for two major reasons. First, food should sustain their needs for maintenance of the body. Secondly, additional food must be provided to suffice their bodily needs for producing milk. Is there anything specific that must be given to cattle? Well, cattle feed must consist of roughage, which is nothing but fiber. They should also be provided with micronutrients. This is with regard to their food requirements. What about the need to be protected from diseases? In order to protect cattle from diseases, which can be seen as well as those which are internal, cattle must be vaccinated. They must be closely monitored and proper medical facilities must be made available to them. If all these are in place, cattle farming can be a rewarding occupation. Cattle farming does serve the purpose then. What other purpose does cattle farming serve? Cattle, as we know, are used as draft animals. Bullocks, oxen and bulls are used for farm labor. What work do cattle do on the farms? They are used for tilling, for driving carts and for irrigation as well. There are two species of cattle that are most commonly used. Do you know what their scientific names are? They are known as Bos indicus cows and Bos bubalis buffaloes. The names are quite long, aren't they? Well, we can always refer to them as cattle or cows and buffaloes.
Storage of food grains. Crops are seasonal to provide food grain throughout the year, and at every place in the country these are kept in the storage. Harvested food grains contain more moisture. Moisture promotes the growth of fungi or mold on grain and spoil the food grains. Therefore, the food grain should be dried before storage. Before the food grain are stored, they are dried in the sun to remove the excess moisture. On the domestic level, food grains are stored in small containers made of tin coated iron and muddy or clay containers. On commercial level, food grains such as wheat, rice, gram, etc. are stored either in gunny bags or in grain silos. The gunny bags filled with the food grains are stacked in a large godown about 60 to 70 centimeter away from the walls and on the wooden platforms about 10 to 15 centimeter above the ground. Pathways for inspection or fumigation are provided in between the stacks. When the quantity of food grains to be stored is very large, then it is stored in grain silos. Grain silos are specially designed tall cylindrical storage structure. These silos can store different stock of food grain at different level. The required food grain can be taken out from the opening provided in these silos.